The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
We made it, Jet fans. Tomorrow is the day the Jets report to training camp, and to kick off training camp week, we're going to be joined by a very special guest. The radio play-by-play voice of the New York Jets, Bob Wischusen, joins us. So, Jet fans, let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season. We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jets fans. Welcome in, everybody. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and spread the word. We talk Jets each and every day on this channel, Monday through Friday, twice a week. And now with the season here, we're giving you Saturday shows. We're giving you post-game shows on Sunday. This is the place to be for comprehensive Jets coverage. And also, tonight at midnight, in honor of the great Bobby Midnight, the Jake Asman Show merch store is going live. JakeAsman.com/shop. If you're a Patreon member, you've had access since Saturday. So check that out if you're on Patreon. For the rest of you, JakeAsman.com/shop. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is one of my favorite broadcasters. He is the longtime play-by-play voice of the New York Jets. The great Bob Wischusen joins us now. Bob, thanks so much for coming on. Happy almost training camp to you.
Yeah, here we are. Football season. It's crazy to think about it.
Can't wait. So for you, I mean, you've been calling the Jets games, I think, since what, 2002?
Correct.
That was also the last time the Jets won the division. So jumping off point right off that, Bob, I look at this Jets team and I say, if not now, then when for them to compete for that division title and have a legitimate chance to win the division? How do you feel about this roster going into training camp?
Yeah, I mean, you don't get Tyron Smith. You don't get, obviously, Mike Williams. I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers isn't your quarterback unless you're thinking win now. So they are clearly all in to try and win now. There's no doubt. And who knows? Devontae Adams could be on this team before too long. So I don't see a real definable weakness. If they stay healthy, could they use a little more depth at safety or at interior defensive lineman? I mean, every team in a salary cap sport needs something, but they're really good. And if the quarterback stays on his feet, there's no reason to think that they can't be the best team in their division.
When you look at some of the storylines this summer in training camp, Bob, what are some of the things that you're going to be closely paying attention to?
The health of the tackles and the health of the quarterback. I don't know what else you look to, right? I mean, the defense has proven itself. Even when they've had some injuries, they've backfilled them admirably. So, I mean, last year, Aaron Rodgers plays 4 plays, and the Jets were perceived media-wise and portrayed sometimes as this dumpster fire. They didn't have the first pick in the draft. They didn't have the second pick in the draft. I think if I remember right, you have to go all the way down to the 10th pick in the draft, right? So they were a third of the way through the first round before they picked, which means that there were 9 teams that were worse than them. They won 7 games out of the 17 that they played last year, and you would have thought they won none. So clearly their defense can play even when they get little to no support. If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy and if the 2 most important players tasked with protecting him stay healthy, then there's no reason to think that they can't at minimum flip that record and be a playoff team, if not add 5 wins and be a 12-win team and maybe win their division. And that should be the goal. That's clearly what they're in this for. Again, like, you don't go out and bring in the guys that they've brought in and make the moves that they've made. Bring in Hassan Reddick when you know he needs a contract, unless you're all in right now.
The Reddick situation is interesting because as we sit here and talk, to this point, there's been no news on an adjusted contract. To this point, there's been no news on whether or not he's going to report when the Jets show up tomorrow. What are your thoughts on where things stand between the Jets and Reddick at this point?
That eventually they'll get it done. And it's eyes wide open. They know what his contract situation is, so they'll get a deal done. He's not going to – you're not going to trade for him, bring him in, and then have him sit the season, right? Like they will eventually come to an agreement with him. I would be surprised if it lasts more than, I don't know, another week. I would think that, as training camp begins, he'll be there.
You brought up Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, I mean, this Jet season is so much about him being on the field and him playing like Aaron Rodgers. But, I've said this a lot on my show, Bob. They don't need 2020, 2021 MVP Aaron Rodgers for this team to be really good. What are your thoughts on Rodgers and the expectations for what he's going to be this year with the Jets?
Yeah, I don't know. I think even his game, when it's been at its best, has been a little misportrayed with the Achilles injury and what I think coming back from that should be as an impact on his game. It's almost as if somehow he hurt the Achilles and now people remember him like he was Steve Young before he got hurt. Like that was never his game. He was elusive, but he wasn't Michael Vick. Like he wasn't a running quarterback that would run for 800 or 900 or 1,000 yards. Like he was a buy time and then make a play with his arm quarterback, an improvisational quarterback. I think he can still do that. And if this offensive line in front of him stays healthy, and I think they made a very, very smart first-round insurance pick at tackle as well, where even if one of the other two tackles goes – and if they both miss time. I mean, Olu Fashanu could start 8 or 9 games this year. Both of those guys could miss time. And probably will. I mean, if past is prologue. So if the offensive line stays, even with Fashanu working in front of him, solid, then his arm is everything that they will need it to be. And their success on offense is going to be based on his arm more than anything. And his feet, just enough to buy him time so that he can keep making plays with his arm. And that's always been his game. So, I'm not nearly as worried about him coming back from this injury as a lot of other people seem to be.
How big is it for this team that even if Aaron Rodgers at his age, say, can't play all 17 games, you have a legitimate backup quarterback now at Tyrod Taylor? Your thoughts on him being the guy that could step in if, God forbid, there is another injury to Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Tyrod Taylor is a legitimate and has kind of become a true professional backup quarterback, but you still don't want him to be playing maximum more than 3, 4, 5 games at the most, right? I mean, this is still a star quarterback-driven league, and you have to have your star quarterback there to drive your team. So, that's the PTSD of a Jet fan talking with all of the quarterbacks that they've had to play and all of the injuries that they've been through. If I'm a Jets fan and I close my eyes and I picture what this season could be, part of that recipe should not be Tyrod Taylor playing more than, maybe Aaron Rodgers, instead of tearing his Achilles, sprains an ankle and misses 2 games and Tyrod Taylor has to play for a couple of weeks. That's okay. If it's more than that, then you do start to worry, I think, about, what the season could be being derailed.
Bob, I look at this team, and I think talent-wise, you could make a case it's the most talented roster the Jets have had since 2010. I think when you look at the pressure, obviously there's always going to be pressure on the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and everything that comes with that. But how about this head coach, Robert Saleh? He's now in his 4th year. He has not had a winning season yet to this point. I'd argue a lot of that is unfortunate circumstances, things out of his control, but it feels like a make-or-break year for Saleh and this coaching staff. Your thoughts on just the pressure on Robert Saleh going into year 4?
Yeah, I mean, that's life in the NFL. That message seems to have been sent from on top, from ownership. There does seem to be a win or else mantra, for this season. But to judge any coach in the NFL without having a legitimate starting quarterback there to pilot the ship isn't fair. And every coach in the NFL that you would run through to say, I think this is the best coach, I put this guy top 5, I put this guy top 10, none of them make a list where you would, I think, measure it with any type of success, where you're not then going to immediately go to the quarterback and say, that's a damn good quarterback that he's got. So, any good coach or perceived good coach has been dealt a really good hand at quarterback. And all of the guys that are getting fired, for the most part, are guys that are more than often than not being dealt a bad hand at quarterback. I think the LA Chargers, off the top of my head, the only circumstance I can think of failure of a head coach where everyone looks at the quarterback and is like, wow, like you got a damn good quarterback and you still can't win. And if you've got a really, really good quarterback and everyone knows you've got a good quarterback and you can't win, well, then I'm sorry, then you are out of excuses. But if you've got you're a head coach and everyone can look not subjectively, but objectively at the quarterback position and say that guy's just not good enough, but then you're going to turn around and blame the head coach, then to me, that's not being dealt a fair hand. And so far, he has not been dealt a fair hand. Now, if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy this entire season and the Jets finish 7-10 again, I think we all know what's going to happen. But there's not a human being on earth that thinks that this team with Aaron Rodgers healthy for an entire season thinks that would happen, including me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And you hit on something I've been saying a lot on the show. It's like, remove the word just Jets from the helmet and just look at the roster. Like, it's as talented of a team as you're going to find in football, certainly in the AFC East. So, to me, if this team has won 7 games the last 2 years with, objectively speaking, the worst collective play of quarterback in the league, there's no reason why with just above-average quarterback play, they can't go from 7-10 to at least a 10-win team and at least the bare minimum, Bob, be a playoff team this season.
Look, there are stigmas that get attached to teams who have a really bad run. You're too young to remember this, but when I was a kid, like the New Orleans Saints fans wore bags on their heads when they would go to games, and 10 years later, they were Super Bowl contenders. The New England Patriots, when I was in college, and I went to Boston College, we would get Jets and Giants games routinely on television in Boston because for 4 years, the Patriots never sold out a home game. And the blackout rules gave us New York area football games on Boston TV because the Patriots were so terrible that nobody wanted to go see them. And there was always this perception that they're never going to get out of their own way. They're always going to lose until they didn't, until they got good, and then they won. And so, yes, like at some point, you get a really good team and they stay healthy and they win. And clearly, if you look at this team on paper, that could be this year for the Jets. It's just a question of whether or not to keep the quarterback on his feet. If they do, they're going to win this year. I mean, there's nobody that objectively would look at this roster and wouldn't see talent at pretty much every single position. Now, if they get hit with catastrophic injuries again, then it's, again, just really bad fate. And that would be the football gods cursing them again. But at some point, it's going to happen. And this absolutely could be the year that it happens for them.
We were robbed last year of a season of great quarterback play, certainly at least competent quarterback play with this franchise. We did, however, get at least one touchdown call from Bob Wischusen involving Aaron Rodgers. If you missed it, we go back to late August last year when Aaron Rodgers did throw a touchdown as a Jet.
High formation, Carter the I-back. Rodgers under center, drops back, lobs one, front left pylon. It is caught. Garrett Wilson adds a Jet touchdown. Aaron Rodgers slips a magical throw to Garrett Wilson, and the Jets are on the board.
One, great call there. Two, Bob, are you excited for the Rodgers to Garrett Wilson connection throughout the season?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the rest of that clip, if you continue to play it, I said something like, and how many times might we see that this season? And then we never saw it. So, yes, obviously, Garrett Wilson, a healthy Mike Williams, this kid Malachi Corley that looks to be everything you want in a really tough cover as a slot receiver. You start to close your eyes and dream of a Davante Adams trade. Who do you pick? Who do you cover? You know, you've only got at maximum normally 6 defensive backs on the field, you know, and then you've got Breece Hall that you have to worry about running the football. They could be a matchup nightmare across the board. You know, what you start to wonder is how many weapons can you have with only one football to go around? But then that would become the challenge of the offensive coordinator and the head coach preaching sacrifice, right? Because that sometimes is what happens on championship teams, where you can say to a Garrett Wilson, you know, you can be a guy that catches 100, 110, 115 balls on a team that wins 7 games, or you can catch 75 balls on a team that wins 13 games and we can be in the Super Bowl. And that would probably be the way that things would go were this to be a team that added Davante Adams, gave the ball to Breece Hall, threw it to the tight ends, and so on and so forth, and trusted Aaron Rodgers to pick his matchup. And Garrett Wilson obviously can win any matchup, but also could dictate other matchups to be favorable for others. So if they were to add a Davante Adams with a maestro like Aaron Rodgers picking those matchups, they're going to get some fantastic one-on-ones out there because you can't double everybody.
You brought up Davante Adams a couple times. Obviously, a lot of smoke surrounding this conversation. Your thoughts on a timeline for when something like this would happen? Because for me, I'm not saying it wouldn't happen. I think if he's traded, the Jets certainly would make a ton of sense. But I think 2 things would have to happen. First, 1, the Jets would have to be in the mix, being one of the better teams in the conference. And 2, the Raiders, who are underdogs in 8 of their first 10 games, they'd have to be out of the mix because I don't see them giving up on their season now when they were 8-9 last year, 5-4 with Pierce as their interim coach. So just your thoughts on that timeline for potentially a Davante Adams trade.
Yeah, unless you overpay early because you're already all in, right? And that could be something that, I mean, Jet fans might say, great, like let's overpay and let's just go get a guy that, because we've already declared basically where we think we are as a franchise right now. So let's just even further push all our chips to the middle of the table. Even if you don't add a Davante Adams, if Mike Williams stays healthy, you already have, and I was talking to Robert Saleh about this a few weeks ago. He already thinks he has as good, if not better, a running back room than he's ever been a part of with the 2 kids that they now have to insert behind Breece Hall. So they have enough weapons on this team to create those matchups, even without Davante Adams. And obviously, I'm just saying, if you're a Jet fan and you lay your head down on the pillow and start dreaming about that possibility, it is at least a possibility. So I agree. I mean, circumstances would have to line up as you go through the first couple of months of the season. Could it happen? Sure, it could happen. I mean, we've seen crazier trades made. But even if it doesn't happen, they still have, if they are a healthy football team, enough talent on this offense, if the quarterback stays healthy, to be an above-average offense, which is really all you have to be to complement this defense to be a really good team.
100%. And, you know, when you kind of just look at the weapons they do have in place, you brought up Malachi Corley. I think he's certainly someone to watch this summer once camp gets underway. Because and I'm sure you did a bunch of his games in college. We heard so much about, well, he's so good after the catch. He's, you know, he earned the nickname, you know, the Yak King for his ability of just being so good yards after the catch. Well, in training camp, when the pads come on, you start to see some of that. You can't really tell in OTAs when they're not hitting each other. Your thoughts on his transition to this offense? And then you still have Xavier Gibson, you have Jason Brownlee. Like, who's going to emerge outside of Garrett, Mike Williams as that number 3 target potentially for Rodgers until maybe a Davante trade would happen?
Well, I mean, it will be Corley. Like that I think very clearly is their top 3. Right? Like Brownlee and Gibson. Gibson is primarily on this team as that change of pace, put him on the field, run an end around, and then return kicks, right? That really is his value. Brownlee could certainly continue to develop as a receiver, but he would be more of an injury replacement. You're going to see 80 to 90% of the play time go to those top 3 guys, I would think. The occasional breather provided by Gibson and Brownlee. You know, we'll see how Mike Williams progresses through camp. Maybe those guys, I mean, are we forgetting, I guess, Alan Lazard? I guess he still has a chance, barring a trade for another outside receiver to be on the team. And that's a guy that, I mean, I'm sure as much as Aaron Rodgers likes to play with a plank on his right shoulder, not just a chip, he would love to prove the world wrong about Alan Lazard, throw him some balls in camp and show everyone that they still have chemistry and maybe he could be the fourth receiver too. But, Mike Williams healthy on opening day, Garrett Wilson on the other side, Corley in the slot. I do think still some underrated talent at tight end. Like, I think Tyler Conklin is an underrated player. They took Ruckert in the second round. I mean, to me, I think that, like, you take a second round guy, you want to show that he can go out there and do something. I would think that group, even as it's set right now, would be good enough.
Comments, questions, super chats for Bob Wischusen. We'll do a little fan Q&A before we wrap up with the longtime radio play-by-play voice of the New York Jets. Shout out to Nick Shine, who super chats, two of the best of their craft. Loving the interview. Go Jets. Thank you very much, Nick. Jets Johnny wrote in, need about 15 of those Garrett Wilson touchdown calls this year. I mean, if he's healthy, Bob, I do look at some of the years Devontae had in Green Bay, and Aaron even himself has compared Garrett Wilson to a younger Devontae Adams. I could see Garrett Wilson having that all-pro level year if those two guys are healthy out there together. We saw the chemistry last year in limited opportunities in camp in that preseason game. Seems like they're on the same page. We know the talent level of Garrett. Your thoughts on what his season could look like?
Yeah, if they don't bring Devontae Adams in, if that trade never happens, then I do think that Garrett Wilson is potentially, in that 1,200 yard, dozen touchdown or more category. Like he's certainly a talent on that level. There's no question.
Pittsburgh Mike writes in, Bob, your play-by-play is iconic. Thanks for all you do. Can you describe how much the new unis and logo have energized everyone inside the organization?
It brings me back to my youth. Like this is the logo. These are the uniforms that I grew up on. Right? Like I've always said, I'm the worst possible age to be a Jet fan. I am 52 going on 53 years old. So I've certainly gone back and watched all of the old highlights. And I've watched Super Bowl III. I've seen NFL films. I have no memory of Joe Namath. Like, I was 7 years old when Joe Namath was a Ram. So I don't remember Joe Namath. I don't remember. It was 2 years before I was born when they won Super Bowl III, or a year and a half before I was born. So my first memory of the Jets is, Richard Todd and the sack exchange and, Lamb Jones and, those are my guys from the early 80s. This is that logo. So those are my guys. That's the Jet era of football that I grew up on. So, yeah, I mean, Wesley Walker and Bruce Harper and Freeman McNeil. And, that it brings me back to the Mud Bowl. It brings me back to the playoff teams of the 80s. So, yeah, it energizes me to see that logo. And not that I don't like the old school logo that they even, obviously went back to bring the Joe Namath logo back. That we've had for however many years. But this, unlike, say, the guy who was 53 years old when they returned from the logo I grew up on to this previous logo, now I'm the 53-year-old guy, and you're bringing me back to my youth by taking me back to my old logo. I love it.
It's such a clean looking logo. I think this fan base is excited. And when they wore the legacy whites last year in a couple games, it was almost instant from the fan base. Hey, these should be permanent. Then they add the green to it. So I think every Jet fan is right there with you, Bob. This one is from Jesus Jerry, who super chats. Bob, big thank you from Australia. Streaming live WFAN calls of games at 3 a.m. in the early 2000s helped nourish my passion for the Jets. Hope all is well, sir. How about that? We got Jet fans everywhere, Bob.
Well, we appreciate your that's as loyal as it gets. So I definitely appreciate that.
Leany in North Carolina, speaking of as loyal as it gets, she's as big of a Jet fan as anyone. Bob, you did a fantastic job filling in during the New York Rangers playoffs. What is your favorite sport when you're in the booth?
I don't really have a specific favorite sport. But it's not like when I'm at a Jet game, I'm thinking, boy, I really wish I was calling a playoff hockey game. Or when I'm at a playoff hockey game, I really wish I was calling a Jets game. Any broadcaster worth his salt, I think, just wants to be at the biggest and best and most fun event that you can be at. And when the Jets were a playoff team, when they were in championship games, when they were going up to New England and, the Bart Scott can't wait playoff win, like those are my fondest memories. Getting to call an overtime Rangers playoff win in a conference final this year, you can't beat that. So, yeah, I don't really sit around and, think about, if I could call one thing for the rest of my life, this is what it would be. I like them all. I grew up as a kind of an across-the-board sports fan, and regardless of whatever the season was, I watched everything.
What to you, or where is your favorite venue to call games? You could say more than one because I know it's tough probably to narrow it down to just one, but give us like your top 5 list of venues you'd love to call games from.
Well, I mean, obviously, a Rangers playoff game at Madison Square Garden is hard to beat. That is as electric a feel as you're going to be a part of. If it kind of goes sport to sport, like if you're doing basketball, I mean, Kansas or Duke for a big home game, those places are electric. And one that I would imagine that I've never had a chance to be a part of, I mean, I was in the old stadium in 2002 when the Jets played a playoff game against the Indianapolis Colts when Peyton Manning was a baby, and they destroyed them. And I remember walking out of the stadium with our guys, and we were all looking, Marty and myself, all looking at each other going, man, that was fun. That was a blast. I can't wait to do that again. And that was it. It's never happened again. That was the only home playoff game in the 23 years that we've called Jets games that we've ever had a chance to call. So when I close my eyes and imagine the places that I would like to call a game, when I close my eyes and I imagine the places that I'd like to be that are most electric, I'll tell you right now, of all of the places that I've been, you're never going to get a place that was louder, more electric, more hyped up than when Aaron Rodgers ran out of the tunnel on Monday night with an American flag in his hand to start last season. So imagine that on steroids if the Jets were hosting a playoff game. So of all of the places that I've been, all of the places that I've called games, I would imagine I'd put MetLife Stadium for a Jets home playoff game right at the top of the list were it to happen again. So that, to me, like, add that to the list now without it ever even taking place. That's what I'm hoping someday I get to experience.
I'm glad you brought that up because it was on my list of things to bring up to you. I was at the opener last year. I was still doing radio in Houston, so I flew in for that game. And I've been lucky enough in my career to have been to a World Series, been to the Olympics. I've been to, big-time playoff games in the NBA. And I can't remember a stadium that was as loud from the beginning to the end, even with the Rodgers injury 4 plays in, than MetLife was in that opener. I think it just shows you how starving this fan base is. I mean, if this team is actually good this year, Bob, we're going to see home game crowds, especially with most of the primetime games being at home. It's going to be insane this year. You and Marty are going to have a hard time hearing one another in the booth.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, home NFL playoff crowds, and I have been to places like I was in Mile High for the 98 championship game, the old Mile High. We were in Indianapolis for a championship game. We were in Pittsburgh, and I've been to Pittsburgh not just for a championship game, but several other playoff games the Jets have played. We were in San Diego for an old Chargers playoff game. Trying to think of, obviously, New England we've been for playoff games. So I've been to some of these other road playoff venues, and those are incredibly loud, incredibly awesome atmospheres, and you do soak it in because even though your team is the road team, you still feel the electricity and how incredible a place it is to be. But those are also fan bases that have had tremendous success, right? Like, it's not like being a home playoff crowd was new to crowds in Denver for the Broncos or in Pittsburgh for the Steelers, or obviously this long run that the Patriots have had, and still those places are incredibly electric. Now take the Jet fan base and give them a home playoff game. And what do you think it's going to sound like? it will be that and more. So that's why I'm hoping it happens, because it'd be just a blast to be a part of.
Couple more questions for Bob, and then we say goodbye to him. To 411 writes in with a super chat. Bob, you're the best. Who did you pattern your style of play-by-play calling after? Who was your favorite growing up?
Oh, I don't really pattern my play-by-play calling after anyone. And I always, when I talk to, classes of communication students or interns or anyone that is kind of up and coming in the business, because a lot of people ask that question. Right now, look, are you somewhat influenced by guys that you look up to? I mean, obviously, like Marv was, of course, the voice of a lot when I was growing up. But I remember all the play-by-play broadcasters as I was growing up. Obviously, there have been greats, the Vin Scullys, the Mike Emmerichs, the Dick Enbergs, like the guys that were just the voices of so many iconic moments. But having said that, I don't believe you can or should, when you're calling a game, try to do anything other than the best job you can do in your own voice, right? Like people always ask, what's your signature call? I don't have one. Just not me. I never sat around, like, God bless John Sterling, who had built a career around signature calls and, sat at home and probably thought, like, when this guy hits a home run, what am I going to say? That was his thing. It worked for him. They can put it on a T-shirt. It is high as far it has gone. That created a line of merch for him. And God bless if that works for you. That's just not me. To me, I always look at myself as I am there to document the game and hopefully make it a little bit more enjoyable for someone at home watching the game. But it's never going to be, for me, about anything other than the game. I try not to lose sight of the fact that no one is tuning into a broadcast for me. They are tuning into the broadcast first and foremost because they care about the two teams playing and they care about the game. And so my job is to hopefully enhance it a little bit, but just document what they're there to watch first and foremost. So am I sitting around at home saying, hey, when Garrett Wilson scores a touchdown and Aaron Rodgers throws him one, like, what am I going to – no, I'm not formulating a call. Whatever drops out of my mouth at the moment will drop out of my mouth at the moment because I'll just call what I see, and that's the way that I do it. So I don't really pattern my style after anyone because to me, like, then it just sounds inauthentic. It shouldn't sound like anyone else because anybody else's style, that is their style. And my style should be mine. And I tell young broadcasters, don't pattern yourself after me. Like, don't sit at home and listen to me and then go to a booth and try to be me. You shouldn't do that. Be you. And to me, it will sound much more authentic that way.
It's probably not like a signature call, but when you do say, that's a Jet touchdown, that to me is the best as a Jet fan.
I guess.
That
just drops out of my mouth. Like,
yeah.
I never really think about that because, like, that is what it is, right? Like, when a guy scores a touchdown, that's a Jet touchdown. Well, there you go. Just letting you know that the Jets just scored a touchdown.
Which has been a rarity the last 15 years. But
it hasn't happened often. So, yeah, people sometimes, I get criticized every now and then for my calls being too over the top. Well, sometimes you grab onto moments and you maybe go a little bit more over the top because you're wondering if you're going to get another one anytime soon. So, hopefully we'll get a lot more of them this year.
No doubt. Last question here from Raw Power, who writes in, Bob, favorite Jet player growing up?
Good question. I don't know if I had one. There were certain guys that I really admired. Like, I really admired Marty. And I love being able to say that I watched him when I was growing up. I never failed to I'm bald and old, and, that makes him balder and older. I loved Klecko. To me, Klecko was just the epitome of everything that a football player was supposed to be and supposed to be about. Loved Altoon, right? Like, just as rock solid and as tough as nails a receiver as you could have. Those are some of the guys that immediately leaped to mind when I was a kid. That, in your teenage years when you're watching a team that, you thought was really good and had a chance a couple times to make runs and came this close and just couldn't quite get there. Those Jet teams from like 82 through like 87, 88. They had some really, really, really good players in those years. And it's been fun to get to know a lot of those guys now as well. Like Bruce Harper, of course, was a fan favorite for everybody as well. He was like that spunky little return guy in the third down back that, you always wondered how a guy that size could be that tough and play in that league and just run for his life and survive. And he did. Those are the guys that kind of immediately leap to mind.
Great answers there. This one's from M. Kingers. Just want to thank Bob for being the voice of the Jets. Love listening to him when I can't watch the game live. #JetLife. Thank you for the super chat, M. King. And then Jay Quest, he writes in, Bob, my fondest moment is 2002 versus the Packers. We went nuts on an incomplete pass when we found out win and get the division. What a feeling. And that was your first year, as you talked about, Bob, of you being on the play-by-play for the Jets.
Yeah, that was an amazing afternoon because that was at kickoff. The game either meant everything or meant nothing. And that was an era before everybody had immediate feedback on their cell phones. That was like flip phone era. That was like pre-internet on your phone era. And in the old stadium, I remember they had TVs, I remember on the underhangs of like the mezzanine and the lower deck. So I think the people in the mezzanine and like the last 8 or 10 rows could see the Patriot-Dolphin game that went to overtime where the Dolphins or the Patriots had to come back and beat the Dolphins to make the Jet game matter. And all of a sudden, on a relatively innocuous play on the field, the place goes bananas because word quickly spread that the Jet game all of a sudden meant it was for a division. And, of course, then they went out and like rolled and won, put up like 40-something points. And that was the loudest that I had ever heard that stadium until they beat the Colts in the playoffs the next week. Those were fun times, and we thought we'd have a lot more, and we haven't had a home playoff atmosphere since. Maybe this will be the year it happens.
I hope it is, and we hope that we get to hear you and Marty being on the call, of course, for that and plenty of great moments this year for the Jets. Bob, thanks so much for taking some time today to come on the show. Preview camp. Can't wait for the season, and I think I speak on behalf of every Jet fan tuned in. We're grateful that you and Marty get to call these games because you certainly make the experience so great as Jet fans.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Wischusen joining us here on the show. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks again to Bob for coming on. As good as anyone calling games, whether it's college football, the NHL, the Jets, Bob's as good as it gets. Couple programming notes here. One, non-YouTube note. I'm doing morning drive tomorrow on ESPN New York. Get up early with me, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Dave Rothenberg and myself, we got you covered on 98.7 ESPN New York. Let's go, baby. Dave and I, Rothenberg and I, having some fun. 6A to 10A. I'm filling in for Rick DiPietro. Don't worry, I'll be rocking my Rick DiPietro jersey from when I was 10 years old and wore it to Iceworks for Rick to sign. I got you covered, people. That's coming up tomorrow. Also, the Jake Asman Show merch store is launching tonight at midnight. So I guess technically tomorrow. All right. In honor of Bobby Midnight, we're launching the Jake Asman merch store at midnight. And ladies and gentlemen, in honor of Bobby Midnight, we are dropping a limited edition Bobby Midnight shirt that you will only have up on the merch store for 24 hours to kick off the merch store getting underway. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to back our candidate, Bobby Midnight. Midnight 2024. Forget Biden or Harris. Forget Trump. Bobby Midnight 2024 in honor of the merch store launching tonight at midnight. Limited edition Bobby Midnight shirt available in the store. And don't worry, Bobby, we're sending you your own shirt so you can rock it on the show. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Before we get into some of your questions or comments and we open up the Gusbuster hotline, let's pause quickly to talk about Circa Resort and Casino.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rate.
Players in Circa Millions make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes. The Asmaniacs will have an intro, an intro, all right, an entry into the Survivor contest, the Circa Survivor contest. So you have two contests. You have the Pro Football contest, the Circa Millions contest, and then you have the Circa Survivor contest. We'll be in the Survivor contest. Once again, all the information, if you want to enter either of these contests, the best pro football betting contest out there, circasports.com, circasports.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we open up the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. Comments, questions, super chats, of course. We'll cut the line. Let's see what you guys are thinking. We have some housekeeping to catch up on first, though, because before the show even began, Cincy Matt came in, fresh off, I believe, his honeymoon, and dropped the 10 spot. Cincy Matt wrote in, been on honeymoon and then vacation, trying to watch all the replays to catch up on the madness. This show never disappoints. How about that? A 10 spot from none other than Cincy Matt. And instead of playing your typical drop video for 10 memberships, I'm playing Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson again in honor of Bob Wischusen.
High formation, Carter the I-back. Rodgers under center, drops back, lobs one, front left pylon. It is caught. Garrett Wilson adds a Jet touchdown. Aaron Rodgers slips a magical throw to Garrett Wilson, and the Jets are on the board.
Now, here's the thing. Matt gifted these before the show started, so I don't even know who got them. So if you got a membership, you thank Cincy Matt because he threw a 10 spot before this program even began. How about another 5 channel memberships? This one is from M. King, who had a great super chat to Bob Wischusen earlier. Let's go, M. King.
Money, 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 money.
Here we go. If you hear your name called, you are officially an Asmaniac. The following 5 people, hopefully I can get M. King's names, are channel members. Sir Slaughter, Brian Kelly, Melissa Benson, Bob DiMucci, Rex Reeser, all officially channel members. Sith happens. Nope, that's just a regular comment. Look, I speak on behalf of every content creator. YouTube, get your bleep together. It's a joke how difficult it is to figure out who's being gifted a membership. All right, I don't have time for nonsense. The Jets start training camp tomorrow. The merch store launches tonight at midnight. Enough. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Pittsburgh Mike writes in, Bob's smooth and glorious voice narrating a crisp Sunday afternoon in the fall is going to be just legendary. Yeah, the team's winning. Imagine that for a concept. Boba Jet writes in, is there a Muffin Man t-shirt? Not yet. But stand by. Stand by. Carly writes in, merch store opens tonight at midnight. Who's ready? Who's ready? What is everyone buying? And how many people are going to buy the limited edition Bobby Midnight launch shirt? How many people? Because it's coming. All right, let's take some calls. Anything Jet related that is on your mind is on the table to discuss. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. Comments, questions, super chats. You guys know the drill. First up on the Gusbuster Hotline today is Charles Eugene M. Gorman. Hello, Charles.
Hey, Jake, I wish you would have kept Bob Wischusen on so I could talk to him. It's been I haven't talked with him since my sophomore year of high school.
How many years ago was that?
About 15 to 14 years ago.
A long time.
He's a good man.
I'm happy to hear that.
Anyways, I can't wait for training camp. Can't wait for preseason games to start.
What about the merch store, Charles?
Well, the merch store is great. I mean, I'm getting my man's tank top and of course my koozie, which hopefully
the Charles Gorman Asmaniac men's premium tank top. Are you excited to rock it, Charles?
Maybe.
You're giving us a lot of chest today, Charles. I like it.
Thank you.
Tom Ace said you have a robust chest.
I'm pretty fat, so don't worry about it.
I don't know if that means you're fat. Carly wrote a Charlie chest hair.
Thanks, Carly. I appreciate that. Anyway, so hopefully, as for this season, I'm sure you were at my show yesterday with Aurora.
Oh, was I?
Well, I heard you say something.
I was there.
Anyway, so yeah, hopefully, our big and most important players stay healthy, including Aaron Rodgers. Um, trying to think what else to say. Oh yes. Do you think it's possible for Brees Hall to become the first Jet to rush for over 2,000 yards?
Yes, I think it's possible. I think it's more likely they'll have 2,000 yards in scrimmage.
I think so too, but it just popped in my head. It's like, oh, maybe he can get 2,000 rush, become the first Jet running back to do so.
Maybe. But I think it's more likely than not that it's probably a combination of receiving and rushing yards that gets them there.
That's true too. And that's all I wanted to say. Hope you have a good show, and hopefully I'll turn into your show and along with Dave Rothenberg. So
Can't wait. Charles Gorman, everybody. What a call. Kenny writes in, Jake, training camp tickets sold out. I have 2 for this Thursday if you want to give away on your show. Kenny, send them my way, my man, and I will give them away to Jet fans. Love it. Shout out to Kenny. Kenny in Staten Island. One of the all-time greats. A man who's pictured in this video that I recorded when me, Kenny, and Joe B sat together and watched the Jets steal one from the Giants.
Here it is. Little Victor Cruz dance. Oh, Victor. Woo. I'm doing a little salsa, baby. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah, baby. The great Kenny from the Jet Lounge. Kenny at Staten Island. All right, more calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us in Israel, in Jerusalem, is Jason, who's up next. What's up, Jason?
Hi, Jake. It's been a while since I've called in.
Where you been, man?
Yeah, just life. First of all, it was great seeing you at the event out, a month ago on Long Island, and kudos to you for all that you're doing to bring awareness to mental health and suicide prevention. So, big shout, as they sound McAfee, shout out, and keep up the good work. You're doing good work, man.
Well, great job by you coming out. Really nice to meet you in person, man. It was awesome seeing you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give you that public kudos. I'm watching. I'm not able to watch live often, but I catch you on the replays, and churning great content. And just a reminder, we still have the Jake Asman fan club for the ESPN Eliminator pool. That group is still active. So looking forward, maybe we could keep on talking about starting week 2, who we're choosing, because we all know the Brock Purdy body bag game.
I love
week
it.
1.
I love it. Well, Jason, I'll tell you what, too, by the way. We've had a couple listeners order merch to Israel. So if you're going to get anything, I want you to know that we do international shipping. All right? And Craig down in Australia, by the way, ordered some merch this morning, I saw. So you're in good hands as far as getting you some Asmaniac merch out there.
All right. I'll would love some swag. So keep up the great work, buddy. And
I love it.
As we say here, refuah shlema to your Yankees.
They have been terrible. Good God. I'm going tomorrow night against your Mets, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, well, hopefully the Mets will pull one in. Unfortunately, we're struggling down there with the fish.
Yeah, and both teams have been terrible so far. Good call by Jason there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue with the calls. This guy joining us right now is a big-time Asmaniac, to the point where he is letting us have a night of champions at his family's restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, Jose is up next. What's up, Jose?
Hey, what's up, Jake? How you doing?
Jose, I'm excited to meet you in person, man. I mean, I've been talking about it on the show. Your family's restaurant, Don Jose Mexican Restaurant, East Hanover, New Jersey. That's the spot of our training camp meetup on Wednesday, August 7th. Can't wait to be out there, man.
I know. I can't wait to host you guys, man. we're like 15 minutes away from the facility, the practice facility. So like, we've hosted Jets in the past, and even I became a fan of the Jets through Rex Ryan. He was I think it was I was about 16 years old, and he stepped foot in the restaurant. I didn't know much about the Jets. I was growing up Mexican. I grew up a soccer fan. So the moment he stepped foot in, he was really nice to me. And then I saw him on Hard Knocks, which was pretty crazy. So then from there on, my passion for the Jets grew. And we've hosted JFM, but I know he's just left. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, we can't wait. For those who want to go, spots are limited. 50 spots total. Spots are filling up.
28 reserved already. So
it's coming, man. It's going to be crazy. So RSVP if you want to go. It's Wednesday, August 7th, East Hanover, New Jersey, as you heard Jose say, right near the Jets training facility at Flora Park. It's myself and Richie from Jets Media. So we're going to have a blast. Jose's preparing an epic menu.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Jet
sir.
fans coming. So tell people about that, by the way.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to charge like a flat fee, something very cheap, and then we'll get you guys a boatload of food. I'll set up a menu. I'm gonna bring some beers for the Asmaniacs, maybe even a bottle of Hennessy for you, Jake, and we will have a good time.
100%. So I can't wait, man. Thanks so much for reaching out when I was trying to find some spots near the Jet facility to do something like this. And you reached out right away.
Yeah,
so it was time to plan it. You were my go-to.
If we're lucky, we might even get a Jets player or two to come in, because usually during training camp, one or two will hop in the restaurant after for lunch or dinner. Sorry.
Yeah, that's great, man. So
yeah,
this is an awesome spot. So I'm excited to be out there in a couple of weeks.
You got to get Charles Gorman to come out. Maybe I'll make him some chicken soup at the restaurant.
Oh my goodness, right? Can you please?
Yeah, for sure.
That's tremendous. Jose, great call, man. Thanks so much for calling in.
I'll see you. Bye.
I love it. For those who are interested, once again, Don Jose Mexican Restaurant. Great spot, East Hanover. People have been saying, where's the Jersey meetups? Because I've done Long Island. We've done Manhattan. We did the Bonesy Shoe Store. We got the event at T-Squared on the 17th. This is August 7th in East Hanover. I can't wait. Can't wait. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. More of your calls right now. We go to Rob the Jet fan. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Jake. How you doing today, buddy?
What's up, Rob?
Much. I saw your interview with Bob. That was fantastic. He just brings back so many great memories. And it's true. He doesn't mimic anybody's style. He just has his own style. And it's so good. He just always got you excited calling, a touchdown, obviously. Fantastic. I mean, limited memories, but good memories with Bob. And hopefully that changes this year, I hope. Also wanted to say I can't wait for Times Square Social. I'm pumped up about that. Should be a great
social.
T-Square. Thank you, buddy. T-Square. My bad. Yeah, T-Square. So I'm really excited about that. So we're going to meet at Bonesy's, about a half an hour before?
That's up to you, man. That's up to you. For everyone going, 6:30 p.m. is when our event particularly starts at T-Squared. So if you're going RSVP.
No, I'll go. If I'm going to go there, I'm going to go see Bonesy, too. I already did. I RSVP'd.
You're all set then, man. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah. So what was I going to say also? I caught the show with Nick Shine. That was hilarious. I felt bad for Bob because he kept leaving the show, the show that you guys did and stuff. Oh, and then I was cracking up laughing. That was so funny, dude.
Yeah,
that was. You had a great time.
Me. Yeah, it was a lot of fun last night.
I never saw you laugh that much, Jake. You were cracking up laughing.
It was great. We raised some money for Clancy, who unfortunately is going through a tough time with his family. Yeah. So that was great to see too.
That was so funny. I was cracking up. I saw you burst into tears laughing. I was like, I never saw Jake laugh so hard.
Yeah, it was great. Never check it out.
That was fun. That's fun. But that's about it. I can't wait to see you guys. I am going to come early to Bonesy's store because I want to meet Bobby and stuff. In his element at Bonesy's store. That should be funny. So I don't think Neil's going to make this trip. I think he had something going on, so that part sucks. But I'd like my paisan there. But it should still be enough of us around, right? Enough Asmaniacs and stuff. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you, Jake? I ordered from Parts Unknown an Aaron Rodgers black jersey.
Off air.
It's
Ask me off air. Don't talk
off
about it on the
air?
show. Off air. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll text you because I want to ask you a question about it.
Yep. Message me. Yep. All good, Rob. All right. Keep going here. Hughes Johnson. What a name. Can't wait for football season. Can't wait for football anymore. JETS. Love it. Love it. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. Once again, there are 2 meetups planned right now. One is an actual meetup at a restaurant, Don Jose Mexican restaurant, August 7th, RSVP. Only 50 total spots. We already have 28 people that have RSVP'd. So if you want to go quick. T Squared Social, we have room for 300 people. I already have like 150 confirmed. RSVP to that if you want to go. That's on August 17th. This is not a meetup. This is a watch party because the Jets are playing at 7 against the Panthers in the preseason. So those are the 2 meetups. We also have the merch store, which is dropping tonight at midnight. So I guess technically tomorrow in honor of the great Bobby Midnight. And for 24 hours, the Bobby Midnight 2024 shirt, inspired by the great Bobby, will be in the store to kick off the merch store. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is a guy who needs no introduction, but he has, for whatever reason, 10 of them. Bobby Midnight.
Oh, you know I like the Yankees and the Jets. Can't believe Jake and Rogers met. I'm more than just a hat on Bobby. Jake, you had a great interview with Bob. I like him. He's a very good announcer. You had a great interview with him.
Thanks, Bobby. He was awesome. Great to talk
Plus,
to you.
I got a great idea for a T-shirt. Your face on the presidency. That will be great. Your face, not mine. Burn that shirt.
You don't want a copy of the shirt? You don't want one?
No, I don't want that. My face to deal with that. No, I told you I'm not into politics. So your face would look great on that picture right there.
Well, I think that's kind of why it's a great shirt because obviously the joke is you're not running for president, but in this fan base, you're the president of the Asmaniacs.
Okay, Asmaniacs I'll deal with. Not president. Not president.
You realize no one thinks you're actually running for president, right?
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
All right, I'll deal with that.
Yeah, look, I mean, this shirt is paying homage to you, Bob.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's going to be a top seller.
Okay, we'll deal with it. I'll go for it.
You'll deal with it?
I just don't want politics to be involved with it.
I don't think anyone is actually confusing your politics with
Well, I
politics.
think I'm getting confused with politics. That's my problem. I'm sorry.
Yes,
so yeah, I like Bob Wischusen. Yeah, I'll get it later. So it was a good interview you had with him. He's a good guy. I like his.
You want to answer that call?
Yeah, later. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll call him back later. He can wait.
It does feel like multiple people, Bob, are going to write you in during the election.
No, don't.
Addison says I'm writing in Robert Woodruff at the polls.
Addison, first though, don't call me Robert. You
Tom says I'm writing in Bobby Midnight on November 5th.
Oh, well, that's your problem. I don't want to be it.
Since mad, he says I'll take Bobby over Kamala and Trump any day.
I'm not into politics, guys. Politics suck, okay?
Tom writes in, what are Bobby's foreign policies and plan for fighting inflation?
Oh, Tom, you go blow it out your ear, okay?
What?
I told you, I don't like politics. Stop it. I got embarrassed enough last night.
Midnight 2024.
All right. Okay, that's a great show. Okay,
right.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Card Cave says Robert is cranky.
I am not cranky. You don't know me, Card Cave Central. Go blow it out your ear. Okay, have a good day, Jake. I'll see you later.
You leaving?
Yeah, I'm done.
There's someone on hold that wants to say hi to you.
Who's that?
Ladies and gentlemen, we bring on Nick Shine. Hello, Nick.
Hey, guys.
Oh, no, not him. Not him.
You know what, Bobby? I don't have a bone to pick with you. I love you. My bone to pick is with Jake. Why are you telling him he's not going to be an actual candidate? What's wrong with you, Jake? We are pushing this, and we are pushing it quickly.
That's why, because he's going to leave the show, which he just did, thanks to you, Nick.
I'm sorry.
Goodbye, Nick. That's why. What are we doing here, Nick? Whose side are you on? Unbelievable. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Bob Wischusen was on for the first 35 minutes, talking all things New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers did an interview on Part of My Take. I plan to cover his comments on that during the afternoon stream today. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, today's show is presented by Huga House. Huga House has just put out another flash sale on their hats. Code Asman not only gets you 15% off, it gets you 30% off if you buy more than one hat. They also dropped a total of 10 new hats, including a summer-themed one, which is beige and black. So check that out. They have the navy blue one, and they have the classic like the one I'm wearing and like the one Aaron is frequently wearing as well. HugaHouse.com, promo code Asman. Use that code to get your discount on any of your hats. More calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, BMAC is up next. What's up, BMAC?
Hey, Jake. Good afternoon. We finally here, baby. We are finally here. We made
Yes,
it.
sir.
We made it. I know. I'm just gonna come and ask you, have you seen the new Part of My Take with Rodgers? I just want to talk about his body physique. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not gay, but you know what I mean. But
this conversation got weird fast.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But the dude looks like he's in great shape. You know what I mean? Like he's 40, but the dude has a body of a 25-year-old. You know what I mean? It's crazy, and hopefully, him being in great shape will keep him healthy throughout the year. You know what I mean? And then the other one is I caught you drew clip on Twitter of Dan Graziano said, can we wait and see him play a game? Like you've been talking nonstop about him missing the mandatory mini camp since last month, since he didn't show up. And then now all of a sudden he comes out and talked, and now you want to say let's wait until he play a game. You know what I mean? And then we can talk about him like he played a game. He played 20 years, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, to me, his comments are irrelevant. Nobody hates Aaron Rodgers more than that guy. We're just sad. R&R says, Jake, thank you so much for this insane content every day. It certainly is insane. By the way, happy birthday to Garrett Wilson. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. Future All-Pro Garrett Wilson, mind you. And someone I consider a dear friend after we watched a Knicks game together. That Garrett Wilson, baby. John writes in, who would Bobby's running mate be? The orange lawn chair? The next thing I'm working on for the merch store is we're going to sell replica Bobby Midnight orange lawn chairs. I just need to find a vendor. JC Jets with a super chat. Does Bobby get a percentage of the profits from the t-shirt? Maybe that will incentivize him to be happy about it. Of course he does. We're also going to send him one. This is only a limited. This is just a flash sale, man. It's only 24 hours to kick off the merch store. It opens tonight at midnight. If you're on Patreon, you already have access, and you get everything 15% off. That's the bottom line. $24 hours only. Go fast. Midnight 2024. President of the Asmaniacs. Dano writes in, Jake, which cornerstone is more valuable to an AR-led team, Garrett Wilson or Jermaine? I think this is easy. It's Garrett Wilson. You don't have Garrett Wilson, who's the number one on the Jets right now. Mike Williams coming off injury. Jermaine Johnson is hugely important for this defense. But they could still win if they just outscore teams, which they have the chance to do with a healthy Aaron and a healthy Garrett. You remove Garrett, it becomes a lot harder to score 30 points a game. Boomtown writes in, Bobby wins the presidency. He steps into the Oval Office, and behind his desk is the orange chair. Bobby Midnight 2024. I can see it now, folks. Dun, 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 dun. Bobby is actually called back in under the name Bubby/Sarah 2024. So, Bobby, you're on board with it. I like it.
Boy, with what?
Your name says Bubby/Sarah 2024. Is Sarah your running mate?
That's Gator again. Gator, you're going to get popped in the head.
Whoa.
Okay, I got a question to ask you.
Yes, sir.
I'm on board. What was that? Go back to that comment again.
JC Jets has gifted 5 channel memberships, Bobby.
Yeah.
That comment?
What? No, not that one.
Oh. Here we go. If you hear your name,
okay,
you're a channel member. Can I give the names first, Bobby?
Yeah, give the names first.
All right, I have business to attend to here. Yeah, that's right.
It's your show.
That's right. It is my show. Michael DeBoa, Robert Kelly, Turbo Duran, Dark Barkley, Curtis Hardy. You guys are all officially Asmaniacs. Continue, Bobby.
Okay, remember JC Jets asked, does Bobby get a percentage of the profits from
That's
the
right.
t-shirt?
Of course you do.
How much is that?
We have to talk off air. We have to negotiate.
Well, whatever you give me is fine.
Well, don't worry. We're going to take care of you. And you're also and I'm waiting any moment now for your merch to arrive.
Yeah, it's almost Tuesday tomorrow.
Also, big shout out to Jose who called in earlier, who just ordered the Charles Gorman Jake Asman Show logo tank top.
Okay, well, if that, I'll deal with that because I'm going to get a percentage of the shirt. So
now tell everyone that you're on board with being president.
Well, I'm like you. What do you say you always are? What's that word you always say you are on the show?
A broadcaster?
No.
Content creator?
No. Something to do with money. What's the word that you always say you are to deal with money?
Capitalist?
Yeah, that's it. Capitalist.
So you're a capitalist too?
I'm going to be a capitalist right now if I can make money off that t-shirt. Yep.
Oh, baby. Hey, Patreon users, the Bobby Midnight shirt is live in the merch store. Should I show people how to get it, Bob?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's do this. If we're going to do this, let's do this the right way.
I know you said at midnight. It's not midnight yet.
Well, it's midnight for the general public.
I
want to hook up Patreon users early.
Oh, I gotcha. I didn't understand that. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, Nick just spoiled the fun before, right? Remember when Nick just spoiled fun?
Yeah, you left the show because of Nick.
I had to get off. He drove me nuts last night. He drove me nuts today.
Seems like he's really been driving you nuts. Ladies and gentlemen, here is how you get into the store. If you're a Patreon member, you know the password to get in exclusively. Yeah. All right. Now that you're in, you'll see for 24 hours for the general public. For right now, it's up. The Bobby Midnight 2024 Unisex Classic Tee is right here.
Oh, is that not the same one that Charles is, right? It's just a regular T-shirt.
No, it's right here in the store.
No, I mean it's not like a wife beater one. It's
it's just a limited edition tee. It's only 24 hours we're putting this shirt up. It's a limited drop.
All right, that's fine.
What size are you when I send you one later?
Well, double X.
Double X, so 2X right here.
Yes.
All right. See how easy this is to do, people? You hit add to cart.
Yeah, because I'm a big boy.
And then hit checkout, right? I'm going to use my promo code to get a discount later. Patreon users already know what it is.
Oh yeah, I know what it is too.
Well, don't say.
I'm not saying it.
It's a secret.
It's
All right.
a secret. Shh.
See, Bobby, the magic of it all.
Yes, you explained to everybody how to do it. That's good.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm glad you're on board now.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be a capitalist like you now.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, go for the money when it makes you money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good going. Good call.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I didn't know you were gonna do that for me, so that's why I had to call back in.
Yeah. See, I'm not such a bad guy after all, Bobby.
No, I didn't call you a bad guy. It just I thought that was for presidency. Now I know it's for the asthmatics. Yeah,
You're the president of the Asmaniacs.
Asmaniacs. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm the president. Yes, I agree. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the time, Bobby.
Okay, no problem.
Hi, Carly. First time I talked to you, you're a nice lady. Where are you from, New York?
Hi, Bobby.
Thanks to Bobby for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, comments, questions, super chats. We continue here, but first 2 super chats. M. King says, Bobby and Sarah, 2024, make America Bobby again. I was actually thinking, I think Tom Ace came up with this last night on the Nick Shine VR program. Make America freaky again. That's what we know about Bobby Midnight. He gets freaky.
Calm your freaky down.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eric D'Angelo with a super chat. How do I become a member? Go Jets. You simply hit the join button and you can become an Asmaniac or turn on gift receipts and someone might gift you a channel membership. That easy. We continue here. Kyle Clifton is up next. Hello, Kyle.
What's going on, Jake?
What's up, Kyle?
I think that Bobby is missing an opportunity. Obviously, the people are crying out for someone to step into a void, someone apolitical. He's clearly apolitical. It's one of those situations where he needs to step up for his country.
Couldn't agree more.
So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was what you had said before about Graziano maybe being the all-time Rogers hater. I don't know, man. Nick Wright and Florio are right there. Do you see that Florio already had a piece out today dissecting his appearance on that podcast?
No.
Trying to say what the repercussions are of this nothing burger. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a joke. Nobody cares about it. It means nothing. When everyone shows up tomorrow, no one cares about 2 practices in June.
But he keeps on trying to make it a thing, to his credit.
This is what he does. I mean, it's just I have very little respect for that guy with the way he talks about Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. All right. I had to vent, Jake. Thank you.
Yeah. Look, Kyle, I appreciate you, man. I just do not care for any minicamp stuff at this point. It's so silly. Let's see. Paul says Bobby is as American as apple pie. I agree. Cincy Matt says, stop lying to Bobby. This is for the Oval Office. Tell him to get ready for the next debate. Look, you guys are telling Bobby something that is just not true. He's president of the Asmaniacs, okay? And then he might love the power of that role. Then he'll run for political office. But time will tell. Time will tell. If you're just tuning in, tomorrow, ESPN New York, get up early with me. Me and Dave Rothenberg, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. 98.7 on your drive to work, ESPN New York app. Listen on the podcast if you can't hear it live. Call in. I need all the Asmaniacs to call in. All right, Dave's a Giants fan. I want to flood the phone lines with Jet fans tomorrow in honor of training camp. 800-919-3776. Call in if you're an Asmaniac. I can't wait. All right. Last chance to get in. Keith Best, you were on hold. You were next. I don't see you now, my man. So if you call back, we'll get you. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Cobb's question, super chats. Obviously, we'll do a little Ask Me Anything here. Does anyone have merch store-related questions? The store launches tonight in honor of Bobby Midnight. Can't think of a more appropriate time than launching it tonight. If you want a 15% discount on every item, I would highly recommend you join my Patreon for $5. You're going to save more money with that 15% discount, and thus you're getting the Patreon for free. I don't think enough people realize the math there. $5 a month for Patreon. You use a 15% discount on merch, you're getting Patreon for free. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. No brainer. Ladies and gentlemen, we just had a sale. Let's see. Oh, wow, it has happened. Jason is the first person to purchase the Bobby Midnight Tea. Yes. I believe Jason is JC Jets. So we won't dox his full name. JC Jets, congratulations. You are the first person to purchase the Bobby Midnight Tea. Incredible. Bobby, we just got our first sale. What are your thoughts?
That's the guy who asks if I get promos, right? Isn't that the same guy?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You're a smart guy. Thanks for helping me out there, boy. I appreciate that. That was very nice of you asking that question to Jake. That's why I had to pop in again. So I'm like a capitalist, like Jake is. Getting my money when I deserve it. If they're putting my face on stuff that I deserve to get paid on. That's what I am, a capitalist.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a capitalist now. Woo!
Everyone's going to buy this shirt, baby. It's happening.
I know. This is going to be good for me.
Hey, I'm going to hook it up. Hey, Cincy Matt, I see that he wrote, I'm not on Discord, but I need the Bobby shirt. Cincy Matt, you're such a great listener of the show. I appreciate your passion. Even though you're not a Jet fan, you just love the show.
Yeah, he's a Cincinnati Bengal fan.
Message me on Instagram or Twitter, or just email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, and I'll hook you up with the link so you can get the Bobby shirt or any item in the merch.
Yeah, that guy's a great guy. I like Cincy Matt.
JC Jet says, yeah, that was me. You got to support Bobby and the Asmaniacs.
Yes, he's a good guy. I like that. I like that guy, too. He's a great guy. He should come over to my show after your show so I can meet him.
Hey, Bobby, do me a favor, all right? In honor of you being a capitalist, give me a little Johnny Manziel money sign.
Yeah, if I had the money, I'll show you. If I had that money you have. There you go. Where you get that at? Where you buy that at?
I'm rich, Bobby. That's how.
That's fake money, though.
No,
Where
it's
do you
real.
buy it?
I don't.
No, it is not.
No, you could clearly see this is not fake $100 bills. Come on.
Is that real money?
We're making so much money from this T-shirt, Bobby, you and I, that I'm just trying to fan myself down.
Plus, Carly gets a percentage in too, so you gotta give Carly.
I don't know about that.
She's the one who made the store, though. Right?
R&R says Bobby took his happy pill.
Well, when I first heard the money, that made me happy.
Dan writes in, I need an Asmaniac onesie for my son. We do sell onesies in the store.
Yeah, we're gonna get one for. I'm gonna buy one for Johnny's little girl. She's so cute.
I already bought her one.
I'm gonna get one too. She needs more than one.
Only needs one.
No, she needs more than one. I was gonna buy a teddy bear. I can't buy a teddy bear.
I disagree.
So are you gonna have a second show today at 4 or 5?
Oh, of course I am, Bobby. Stay tuned. I'm not telling you what time. You don't get that out of me.
Oh no, tomorrow's Rob Sabo. Monday is I forgot who comes on.
We sell the onesies in two styles. Baby short sleeve onesie in white with the logo, and then the Asmaniac ones. We also sell baby jersey short sleeve tees.
Oh, okay. I
tees.
see them.
So we have a big kids line in the merch store, folks.
Yeah, we have to get one for Johnny's little girl. She's adorable. She's so cute. So when are you gonna get that other guy I like from Las Vegas? What's his name? Is he ever coming back on?
Maybe it's a mystery.
You know, the guy that looks like Rudy.
I can't predict the future, Bobby.
Parcells, or what's his name? Jeff Parnells?
Don't know who you're talking about.
Yes, my friend that we always call. You had him on the show when V-Man sleeping, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I miss
I
my
think I do.
I need my dose of V-Man today. I like V-Man. He's a cool guy.
Ricky writes in, I want some ice cream.
Oh, that was yesterday. That was National Ice Cream Day.
Yeah.
And guess who retired?
Who?
When Biden, he's going to the nursing home. I told you that.
I thought you don't do politics.
Well, that's the only one I threw in because I think that's why he went to New York to search for a nursing home to live.
See, you are running for political office.
No, I just said one thing. That's all I said. Because I think he's like, he's getting old. Yeah. That's me. I'm the Asmaniacs. So that's what I'm the president of.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah, it's nice. Great day today.
Yeah.
It's a Monday. And then tomorrow the Yankees play the smelly Mets. No, not smelly Mets. The Mets. You going to the game?
ISU writes in, Robert G. Woodruff, Esquire, attempting to summon B-Man to mend fences with Puerto Rico, his first official act.
Hey, don't call me Robert ISU. Don't be smart.
Ladies and gentlemen, our second T-shirt has sold. The Bobby Midnight Classic Tee.
Who bought that one?
Addison.
No way. Addison really brought that one? Addison's cool. That's my co-host.
Yeah, no, he bought it.
Thank you, Addison. You're such a great guy.
Jake Quest wants to know, Jake, your thoughts on the Muffin Man?
Yeah, Jake's the Muffin Man. I am not the Muffin Man.
I don't know. Gator wrote in, Bob from Vermont. Do you know the Muffin Man?
No, I don't know, Gator. And change my name back, please, to what I had.
What if you just learned how to do it yourself? Wouldn't that be better than relying on Gator to do everything?
Yeah, because I had it typed in, then he typed it in again.
So why don't you just change it back?
I can't do that.
Yes, you can. You just don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know. From here, when I get back on my show, I'll do my own.
It's the same way you do it on your show.
Yeah, but I can't do it right here.
Yes, you can. Click on your name and hit edit, name, and headline.
Click my name?
Click.
Yeah, click. Edit. No, where? Put settings, you mean?
You know what? This is just going nowhere.
Well, I don't know how to do it on this side.
Hawk writes in, Bobby was last seen with the Muffin Man last Thursday.
Oh, Hawk, you're hilarious.
Tom writes in, I thought I knew the Muffin Man, but I was very wrong.
Oh, Tom, we get to meet you on what day? August 17th? He's going to be at the meetup.
So are you.
I know that. We get to meet finally face to face, Tom. The no face Tom we get to meet for the first time in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know Tom himself.
Yeah.
Do you know him personally?
Oh, I know him.
Oh, you do? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Is any other of your friends coming from Long Island to come to the party?
Yeah, everyone.
Matt O'Leary going to be down there?
His butt's going to be on a stick. I can't have him near
No, I'm his friend now.
No, I heard you guys still have major beef.
No, I haven't had major beef since he apologized. So.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, we'll see you later. Have a great day.
Tom says I'm going to try and meet Jake this Saturday at Jets practice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you said you're from New Jersey, so that's good. He is from New Jersey, she said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you just call Tom a she?
He.
Sounds like you said she.
Maybe I did. Sorry. He's going to be in New Jersey.
Paul writes in, Bobby's going to fight O'Leary at T-squared.
No, I am not.
So you promised me there'll be no violence that day.
Yeah, no violence. I'm going to shake his hand. See how he's like a foot taller than me. So what am I going to do to him? He's huge. He's like the big fella.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you winding down?
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm just asking the question. I didn't tell you what to do.
It sounded very demanding there.
I'm asking you, are you winding down?
I don't know. I'll go all day now if I have to.
Okay, go all day. I'm proud of you.
This show is now a spite stream.
Spike stream?
Spite.
Oh, Spite. S-P-I-T-E. Okay, Spite. Okay.
William says, I will buy memberships for anyone who purchases a Bobby Midnight shirt. Jay, keep me posted on how many. William, So far, there have been 2 Bobby Midnight shirt purchases. There's
Wow,
going to be
what-
3 because I'm sending one to Bobby as soon as we're done.
William Sprague is a nice guy, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
How's your wife doing, William? Is she better? I think she's a lot better than she was.
You know what's great about William, Bobby?
Yeah.
I asked you.
He's a great giver. He cares a lot about people.
What is it called when he gives memberships?
I don't know. You got that cartoon for him. I forgot. Yeah. What is it? William, I can't remember the one. I know you have something for him.
I am the master of the Sprague spree. Take this, Jake, you little bitch.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
William Spree. Yeah, William Spree. Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
I forgot. I knew it was a cartoon.
Hector writes in, Bobby, are you going to shake hands with me at the meetup?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm. I didn't even know who Hector is.
Snowball says, how many more memberships do you need for the Asmaniac emoji? Snowball, it looks like about 20. Hold on. I got to check because it changes, man.
He coming back next week from Italy, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is in fact time for a Sprague spree.
I am the master of the Sprague spree. Take this, Jake, you little bitch.
Here we go. 5 names. McNally, Prestige
No
Measuring.
fighting.
Stop talking. I'm reading names, Bobby.
I'm talking McCallie.
Oh, please mute your mic. Multiples. No way. Ferenc. You guys are all officially channel members. Congratulations. We just got another order. Did someone else order the Bobby Midnight shirt?
I don't
Ladies
know.
and gentlemen, guess who just ordered a shirt of you, Bobby?
Who's that?
His name is Gator McCluskey.
No way. Gator, you're awesome.
That's now 3 shirts. Hold on. Let me answer Cincy Matt's email. He wants the link to the Midnight shirt.
Oh, he's a good guy, too.
Hold on. I'll send him the link. Matt, I'm going to send you the link, and I'm going to give you the password to get on to the site because the site is not open yet, as you know.
Right, till midnight.
Use password.
That's right. You can't give it out to the public until Tuesday, right?
Well, there'll be no password at midnight tonight.
Oh, okay. No, okay. Gotcha.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, Bobby? It sounds like we're doing great here.
We miss Snowball. He's still in Italy. He'll come back next Tuesday. Don't forget, he starts his new show August 4th with Johnny Boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Snowball wants to know how many channel emojis are we away from a new emoji? That emoji is not even new. It's going to be the Asmaniac emoji when we add it. I'm going to look that up for Snowball. But in the meantime, Clancy Doyle has just bought a Bobby Midnight shirt. I love it.
Clancy, we love you. I love you, Clancy. We care about Clancy. He's a good boy. That was nice of you and Nick, what you did to him for last night. That was very nice of you.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. To answer the question on how many emojis are needed for another one, about 48, it says.
Oh, I thought it was like 100 or something.
Yeah, but the problem is it changes each day because enough
so-
memberships expire, and then it lowers the number we need for another emoji. It's
Yeah,
confusing.
that's true. Gotcha. See, if you're a member yourself, you don't get gifted. That's true.
I didn't know that.
No, I don't think you could get gifted. But you know who still hasn't got gifted yet?
Who?
J-Quest hasn't
Man.
got gifted yet. Feel bad for the guy.
Yeah. All right. I think we
All
covered
right.
a lot of ground, Bobby. I'm glad people are enjoying the shirt. Remember, everyone, this shirt's only available starting at midnight for 24 hours. It is a
Right.
limited edition release.
Yep,
Midnight 2024.
that's fine.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
we'll see you everybody later after Jake's show.
Are you going live?
Yeah, of course.
Like right now?
No, after your show.
So when I end the show, you're going live.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could go out as long as you want. It's your show.
Mm.
Yeah.
How late were you on last night?
Oh, I had to give up at 1:30.
Wow.
Yeah, I said 3 o'clock, but we only had like 3 people in chat. And I was getting tired, and I was trying to wait for Sarah, but they went to Nick's Discord, so they have a party in there when I get off. So, because a few of them are on the West Coast, so they, it's not like that late over there.
Right. All right.
And-
Well, you have a good day, Bobby.
Yeah, you too. Be good.
All right. Farewell.
Well, I need to find Matt O'Leary. He's supposed to come on my show. I want his butt on a stick.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a show it's been. Thank you to Bob Wischusen for joining us. It was awesome. Training camp starts tomorrow, baby. Let's go. I'll be out there on Saturday, Jet fans. So if you're going to camp Saturday, look for me and say hello. I'm hearing lots of reports of a Steve Asman sighting, which is rare. All right. You know my dad's actually excited about the Jets season if he's going to drive out from Long Island to Florham Park to meet me at camp. What a show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. Reminder, flood the phone lines tomorrow. Morning drive, man. Dave Rothenberg, Giant fan. Boo. Me and Dave got you covered from 6A to 10A. I'm also on ESPN New York after the K show from 6:30 to 10 this Friday night. So be ready for that. Also, merch store. I can't say this enough. Midnight tonight for the general public. Patreon users, they've had access since Saturday. This shirt is only available for 24 hours. It is a limited edition Bobby Midnight merch store t-shirt launch. So if you want the Bobby Midnight 2024 shirt, you have to go quick. Merch at midnight. Shout out to Carly for being the Jake Asman Director of Merch Operations. She built the store and did a tremendous, tremendous job. RSVP if you're coming to the meetup on August 7th in Jersey. Spots are limited. RSVP if you're coming to the watch party for Jets Panthers at T-Squared Social in Midtown Manhattan. Thank you all again for your incredible support. Thanks to Bob Wischusen for joining us. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. I end the show by saying, Rodgers to Garrett Wilson. Get used to it, baby. It's coming.
High formation, part of the I-back. Rodgers under center, drops back, lobs one, front left pylon. It is caught. Garrett Wilson adds a Jet touchdown. Aaron Rodgers slips a magical throw to Garrett Wilson, and the Jets are on the board.
And Jet fans are clueless. I mean, they're dopes. They don't know anything. This is a really good hire. Gase is a great coach. Okay, Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Gase is a great coach. Paul Skeens, Pittsburgh Pirates, dominant guy, overpowering. You faced, obviously, you were in the Nolan Ryan era. But
No.
What,
I
not
never
even an
faced Nolan.
inning?
Slow down. No, I was way after Nolan.
Okay,
Way
after
after
Nolan. Okay.